We're all good.
Yes, I got my water.
So this is a couple of days late, which is entirely my fault. Yeah, the COVID jab knocked me around a bit Friday. So anyone watching in the future, we were meant to do this Friday night, and Friday morning I got my COVID jab, and I felt like shit. To the point, I think from memory, like 15 minutes before we were meant to start, I've messaged you and I'm like, do you mind if we go a bit later? Because I just want to have a lie down because I feel like crap. And next thing I know, it's 8:30.
Yeah, listen.
I'm a lot better now. I mean, I was only feeling a bit bleh Friday night, and then yesterday it was just a sore arm. But yeah, I feel fine now. Internet hasn't improved, so I've genuinely been scammed. I was really hoping for that.
I was gonna say, if it makes you feel any better, when you messaged me on Friday to ask to start a little later, I forgot that we were gonna start at 7. So it got to like 7:30 and I checked my messages and I'm like, oh, hold up.
Nice.
Listen, it just didn't work out that way. So I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. I thought we were starting at 8 anyway. It's all good.
Well, all I'm hearing is like the visual representation of like that meme with the dog around the fire. Like, this is fine.
Yeah, I was just like, because I'd just gotten dinner around 7, so I was just eating it, and then I was just watching TV for a bit. Because I'm like, yeah, we don't start till 8. And then I checked my phone after I got up, and I'm like, oh.
I got to call you out here. You're the one that asked if we could start it earlier. Oh, can we do it earlier? Yeah, sure, no worries. And then,
and then you forget anyway. To be fair, okay, we were gonna that was when we were gonna organize to do paladins after stream. Do you remember?
Yeah.
That was why we were gonna start early, and then you ended up doing paladins on Thursday. Well, you didn't actually.
Yeah, that
maintenance.
So that's another thing I wanted to talk about, and it was going to be a lot better discussion on Friday because I was meant to do that first YouTube stream, which YouTube servers were just having a tantrum and were refusing. Like, the stream was like dropping out every like 10 seconds, which was a YouTube thing, not OBS or internet, because it was fine when I switched to Twitch afterwards. And then to make things better, I was going to do paladins, and the paladin servers were down for maintenance. So it went from me doing a YouTube stream of paladins to a Twitch stream of Witcher 3.
Dude, to be fair though, this week, I swear paladins has gone down like 3 times.
I wouldn't know.
The servers?
I've only played about twice.
Yeah, like, I keep seeing, like, oh yeah, the servers are going down in this much time, and I'm like, what the fuck? They're doing, like, maintenance at, like, 3 AM for us?
Yeah, so...
Don't ask why I'm on Paladins that late, but yeah.
We don't question it. So that YouTube stream, gonna try out on Tuesday, and maybe in 2 weeks' time I'll be able to get at least one YouTube stream in so we can talk about it then.
Yeah. Hopefully we can have a chat about it and see how good it went.
So, what's the first thing you want to talk about?
Well, I'm thinking because we've got a couple of DVD topics. How about we tackle those first?
Sure.
Alright, so I'm thinking we talk about DVD reskins.
Yes.
Because those had become a bit popular, or a bit late to talk about it, but they became popular about a month ago, I think. Where people were starting to change, they were starting to mod DVDs. So they were starting to, like, mod in certain cosmetics for survivors and re-skinning lockers and stuff like that. I liked the concept of it. I thought it was pretty cool until people started abusing it.
The small minority abused it, and now no one's allowed to do it.
Yep.
Which is, for those that don't realize what people do, the majority of people are just doing it to meme around. Like, some people were like giving like Meg cosmetics on Fang or something along those lines, or like one of the more amusing ones I saw on Twitter is Steve getting a cat-made outfit. But
I saw
then
that
you
too.
got the shitheads that would do things like make the trappers' bear traps hot pink
Mm.
and stuff like that,
Yep.
which just completely breaks that. So that's why it's just a blanket ban on it all now.
Yeah.
So-
I feel like they could have dealt with that a lot better. I feel like they could have made it so it like
But
they ban like some aspects of altering things, but then
But-
like yeah,
but this is behavior we're talking about.
they don't put in the effort. It's fine.
Exactly.
I really liked the how people brought in cosmetics. That was really cool. I liked how people like
Yeah.
made their own cosmetics for survivors and stuff.
And some of them actually, like, some of them were just not very well imported, whether it's like the quality of the file they were trying to add or whatever, but some of them looked really good.
I saw Kitty Kitty Chips
Yep.
when I was watching her stream. She had these like really cool graffiti lockers, which I thought
Yeah.
looked pretty sick.
And there was a lot of good, like, survivor cosmetics. I didn't really see too many killer ones. I'll be honest, I didn't see too many people posting about that. But, no, there was some really good ones there. Like I said, there was a lot of, like, transferring different cosmetics from one survivor to another. And even, like, recolors of current skins.
I saw someone do the whole Scooby-Doo gang.
I did
And
see that
then-
as well.
Yeah, and then they reskinned the Demogorgon into
Scooby.
fucking Scooby. Yeah, I was like, oh my god, it looked terrifying. I'm like, oh
But,
god.
like, stuff like that's great.
Yeah, it was really good.
And even some newer cosmetics actually looked pretty good. Like people doing some of those. Like I think one that went around a fair bit was like, I think it was Shirtless Ace?
Wasn't it Shirtless Felix? I think it was like a bit of both.
Probably both. Definitely.
Yeah.
Probably the two of them. But yeah, that could have been like that's another thing. Like down the line, adding potential modding options for DBD that's actually supported.
Like opening a Steam workshop.
Yeah,
I think that would be
one
cool.
thing I reckon would be a really good idea and could lead to some very interesting things is if like the way the game is at the moment, I don't see this happen. Like I want to put that out there. I don't think it'll happen, but something I think would look amazing would be amazing is if you could have like they implemented a very basic map maker program. Like like Forge and
Ooh.
Halo, where you can make your own
Yeah.
maps. And like it would be like say just your generic, say you can pick Coldwind, Macmillan, or Autohaven just for the sake of
You pick like a base.
you pick a base realm, and that's where you get like the skins of each of the what's it called, the like tiles and stuff, like whether it's the brick walls for the Macmillan tiles, the wooden for the Autohaven and not Autohaven, Coldwind and the hay bales and stuff, and then like you could have the main buildings as well. And
Yeah.
like very basic, like you've just got a grid, you just put whatever tile you want in whatever grid. And have that on a Steam workshop that you could have like download and play in custom lobbies.
Yeah, definitely for like kill friends.
Like definitely
or
don't
whatever
have
it's
it in like kill your friends. And like you wouldn't have it in regular matchmaking.
called. Oh god, no.
But like even down the line if they really wanted to, behavior could be like, okay, there's however many maps on the workshop. We're gonna pick these 5 or 6 that are really well made, balanced maps that people have made, and we will put 1 or 2 of them, like you vote, we'll put 1 or 2 of them into the actual rotation of maps.
I think something that could be even more fun would be making a chaotic game mode. So like you queue normally as either killer or survivor, and then the map is just auto-generated. So it's just like random like tiles, random
But I
like
think
pallet spawns.
That would add a lot of interesting things you could do in DVD, and it could even make like potentially in Kill Your Friends, depending how you make the maps, potential like custom games. It's like custom game modes.
Yeah,
Potentially.
I think like in general there should be more game modes in DBD.
The issue is you don't want to dilute the player base too much.
That's true. Maybe adding like one at a time. So like not adding like 4 different party game modes, but maybe doing like what Paladins does. You know how they
Like a
switch out game
rotation,
modes?
yeah.
Yeah. So they do one alternate queuing system where it's like, oh yeah, did you want to play a game mode, for example, where you have like 2 killers and 8 survivors or something?
I reckon as a baseline, you would take out matchmaking. There'd be no matchmaking for this. So it doesn't matter like what your MMR is, your hours, it wouldn't matter for this.
And it wouldn't it wouldn't affect your rank either, because it's like, it's for fun.
This game mode I think would be a lot of fun, and if they kept it in permanently, I honestly wouldn't have an issue with it. You pick whether you want to be killer or survivor, it puts you in a lobby, and then there's no items or offerings you can bring in. Like, it's completely vanilla. And based on what you have unlocked on your account, in terms of teachables and DLCs, it randomly picks your survivor, killer, and perks.
Oh, I want that in general in DBD, like normal queuing. I want there to be a little dice button where you can just randomize your perks. I don't know how they haven't added that yet.
So like, you wouldn't want to have like any offerings or items, because it's a party mode at the end of the day, and like you could get like, based on whatever you unlock. So like, say you have none of the DLC whatsoever, the only killers you're going to get is the original 3, Nurse, and Huntress. It's not like you're going to randomly go, oh, I've got Nemesis this game, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to be only the teachable perks you've unlocked. So you're not going to go, like, get Corrupt Intervention if you haven't unlocked it. I think that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I definitely think some kind of alternate game mode needs to be added to make the game more bearable.
Yep, because it's...
as it stands.
Speaking of which, I don't know how many people that are active in chat at the moment have watched the video I put out this morning, talking about why I think the game's on the decline. I know you said you've watched it. What did you think?
I unfortunately agree. I feel like DBD, like what the devs are doing for their game, and just the community combined with that fact, it's just slowly killing the game.
So those that,
for long-time players.
So those that haven't watched the video, I uploaded a video. It's about 10-15 minutes, something around that, of me talking about why DBD has been quite unbearable for me at the moment, and the majority of it, it's the main issue. There's a lot of other issues, but the main one, in all honesty, is the new matchmaking, which I made it very clear. I am not saying the old matchmaking system was good. It really wasn't. But the game at its core is a casual game. And they're trying to add more and more competitive elements to it. Like, there's always going to be a competitive element because it's two sides opposing one another.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between doing that casually and making it a sweat fest. And skill-based matchmaking in a, like, ranked system like that, it's like, is that really healthy? And people playing super sweaty.
I just feel like with the direction that DBD is going, they're going to make it the type of game that's good for newcomers.
Yes.
It's going to be like a good game to pick up for a couple weeks and go, hey, this is really fun, put some hours into it, and then they'll slowly go, oh, wow, I see why people don't play this game like for a long period of time, and then they'll just move on.
Yep.
Because like DBD... Oh, sorry, you go. I was going to just say, like, DBD for me, like, that game used to be, like, my main game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, I would play it, like most of the day when I was on my PC. I would play it all the time. And now I'm lucky to play it more than, like, 5 hours a week.
Because I think that's one issue. And another issue, like, I sort of dabble into it in the video, but like if you're newer to the game or at a lower level of matchmaking, like the lower MMR rating, really anything goes around those levels. Like what killers you verse, what killers you play as, the perks. It's really just anything goes. You get to the higher levels of MMR, you're seeing a pool of pretty much the same 6 or 7 perks on each side.
Yep.
There's no variety. Survivors is pretty much stuck between your Adrenaline, Iron Will, any exhaustion perk really, but predominantly Dead Hard Sprint Burst, Borrow Time, DS Unbreakable. So 6, 7-ish perks. And then as killer, you're constantly seeing your Ruin, Undying, Pop, Corrupt, Tinkerer, Barbecue, maybe a bit of Noid here and there. There's no variety. And it's a lot of Spirits, Nurses, Blights. Because sadly, they're the killers that actually can keep up.
With survivor perks, I don't really have much to say about that because unfortunately people are just going to gravitate towards meta.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's meta, which is why people go to it, but you just don't see any variety at all.
And it's like, but with killer, I can understand why they have to go towards those perks because as it stands, it's really easy as survivor, and that's coming from someone who is a survivor main through and through. In my 3K hours, I've probably touched killer like 2 hours of that at most.
No, so I reckon you played a bit more. I reckon a bit more.
Like not that much,
but yeah,
though.
Not
probably
that
like
much.
Yeah, and it's like
because I remember there was a stage you were playing a bit of Huntress.
Dark days. Anyway, so like I just feel like with killer, there's so much stress because with survivor, you can fuck up so many times and still escape.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
If you fuck up one time as killer, your game is pretty much fucked. And unless you could luckily pull it back.
The thing is, I don't want to be completely biased here. Solo queue is probably worse than, like, harder than killer if you're coming up against other solo queuing survivors, for the most part. Because the majority, like, when you're solo queuing, like, say 4 solo queue survivors, most of those games are absolute hell. But, like, and that's the thing is killer. The games will vary from being pretty easy if you've got some solo queue survivors, or if you've got a very good Swift, which sadly a lot of the lobbies, particularly in OCE being so small, you do get a lot of Swifts. It's just not fun. Like the video I put up today, that was a survivor footage, it wasn't killer. That took me about 2 hours to get a good game. I recorded like 6 or 7 games. That was the only usable one.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and even then it wasn't a flash game, and like you saw the end game chat, didn't you?
I did.
That went on for another like 5 minutes after the video ended. Because I didn't try and save them when I was injured, and the doctor didn't leave Kindred range.
Yeah, you can literally see him.
So it's like, what do you want me to do? I search a chest to try and get a med kit.
It just sucks, because like I do know that pain of being a solo queue survivor, and the problem with a lot of the changes they make to survivor, they anchor it towards people who are swiffing.
Yes.
A lot of the time. They anchor a lot of the changes towards people who play in like 4 stacks or 3 stacks. And it's like, it's so hard as a solo queue survivor. I think with like my, like, I'll say win rate, I guess, as like a solo queue survivor, it's probably less than 50%. Because a lot of the time, you just get survivors that are either they don't save you, or they don't touch gens, and they just like sit around the map doing nothing.
And I want to reiterate as well, a lot of Swift Shiftverse aren't that bad at all. Because like, say like, a lot of the time, say when I like Swift on stream, or a lot of streamers that do Survivor Friends, it'll be like a 4-man Survivor Friends, sure, but generally they're not in comms or anything. It's just, they're there with one another, mainly so they don't get the random bullshit teammates you can get.
Yeah.
It's the survive with friends you get that are like all in comms, or let's send it to Ormond or Haddonfield, and we're going to bring in a keen, a couple of brand new parts, and an insta-heal. Like a syringe.
Yeah. One thing I will say though about even though you're swiffing without comms as a streamer, you got to realize though a lot of people will they'll talk in chat to
Yes.
communicate. They don't
Like,
necessarily have to like, you
yeah,
know.
a lot of the time it'll be like, oh, there's a hex totem in Killer Shack.
Yeah, and it's like not only that, but if you're playing with someone, you know their play style. So it's like even
Yeah,
if you aren't going to even if you aren't going to voice chat, you'll be like, "Oh, I know this person, Barry. He usually runs BT." Like you just
yeah,
know how a person's going to play if you know them, kind of
yeah.
thing. So that's why you queue with them.
But, yeah, games were quite unbearable last night. And, like, a shake-up to the meta would be amazing. And there's one idea I've had. I've done a lot of work for this as well. I'm going to screen share what I've done to this just to show you. Let me share the screen. But the idea is, it would take so much work to implement this. Like, don't get me wrong, this would be a long-term thing because there is an unbelievable amount of work to do for this. And you would have to nerf a lot of survivor perks as well. But the idea I had, because at the moment, with killers, each killer plays drastically different to one another. Like, and there's so many different, like, there's a big difference, say, playing a game of Clown or Trapper, as there is playing Nurse. Like, a lot more different pros and cons. Whereas Survivors, the only difference between them is the male models and the female models, where the male models are larger but quieter, generally.
Yeah.
So something I had as an idea, which, like I said, you need to rework a lot of perks and nerf them a bit to implement it properly, but would be for different survivors you have in the game, each survivor has its own passive effect for the game.
I love that idea.
And
Honestly,
they wouldn't
that
stack.
sounds awesome.
So like Claudette's passive effect, if you had 4 Claudettes, it wouldn't stack 4 times, you just get it the once. I think that would be a great idea. And just to show, I'm going to screen share this with you. I don't have a scene set up in OBS for it, which is the only reason why I don't have that.
Yeah.
But the idea I had for each survivor is that the passive effect would somehow link into like a particular perk of theirs or like their lore, similar to like how a lot of the killers have add-ons that relate to a particular perk. Like Bubba, for example, has the, I think it's purple add-on, that when you chainsaw someone, they drop their item the same way with Franklin's. Like, I wanted to keep that in mind. So these passive effects. So for Dwight, plus 2% action speed for every survivor within 8 meters. So it encourages co-op play. For Meg was a harder one because her main idea is like running, I guess. So scratch marks fade 1 second faster, which I believe at the moment the default's 8 seconds.
Okay, that's not too big of a change, yeah.
Claudette, plus 5% healing speed. For Jake, plus 10% bonus blood points for the boldness category, similar to what like the blood point offerings do. And even though that's a small percentage, there's no offering needed for it. And like if you play 10 games of Jake, that's an extra 100% blood points for that category. And that's for everyone as well. So like if one person's playing Jake, everyone gets the bonus blood points. If one person's playing Claudette, everyone gets the bonus healing speed. For Nia, the stagger from falling from a great height's reduced by 30% as just a passive. Laurie, 20% bonus blood points for the survival category, because in the lore she's like a true survivor, blah blah blah. And 20% bonus blood points. There's only very limited categories you can get survival blood points in, and the one that's most common is surviving. I think the other ones is healing yourself, unhooking yourself, and decisive strike. So it's not actually as easy as you think to get survival category points. For Ace, a 50% chance of any plundered item having a common add-on. So similar to Ace in the Hole, but a very nerfed version of it. For Bill, a plus 3% increase in gen repair speed for every dead survivor. Feng, 25% chance that failed gen skill checks make no notification for the killer, similar to what Technician does, except instead of 100% of the time, 1 in 4 chance. David, plus 10% bonus blood points for the altruism category. Quentin, which is one of my favorite ones, would be Exhaustion Recovery roll. You can get Exhaustion Recovery while sprinting, but at half the speed. So say like you use Sprint Burst, it would still deplete over time even if you sprint, but it would take 80 seconds instead of 40.
Okay.
For Tap, move 10% faster while in the dying state, but not recover while moving still. You just can move around quicker. Kate, while being carried by the killer, struggling is 20% more effective. Adam, when at least one other survivor is in the dying state or hooked, self-unhook chances increase by 30%. For Jeff, if the killer is within 16 meters of a survivor at the moment they are unhooked, the hook they were on is sabotaged for 80 seconds. So that's to deal with trading and just camping killers. Jane, while injured and healing another survivor, 20% of the heal is transferred to you. Ash, when a survivor recovers from the dying state, all survivors see the killer's aura for 3 seconds. This won't trigger for Decisive Strike or anything like that. It's purely like an Unbreakable or someone healing from dying to injured. Or even Adrenaline in the right situation. For Nancy, 10% bonus blood points for the objective category. Co-op repairs earn blood points 20% faster, so you get a bit more blood points for co-op actions. Steve, whenever a survivor goes within 8 meters of a hook survivor in the second stage, the hook timer pauses for 10 seconds. Yui, once per game, a survivor may pick up a down pallet without the need of a perk. Zarina, upon taking a protection hit, the survivor protected is healed 20%. For Cheryl, whenever the obsession is downed, all survivors see each other's auras until the obsession is recovered or hooked. For Felix, items are 10% more efficient. Elodie, spawn an extra chest at the start of the trial. Yunjin, stunning the killer with a pallet reveals all currently working generator auras for 5 seconds to all survivors. For Jill, every time a survivor cleanses a totem, that survivor sees the killer's auras for 2 seconds. And Leon, healing actions are 25% more quiet. Auras cannot be seen while healing.
Okay, so I have a few points about this.
This is all
it's all
a
the
concept thing.
idea.
Like numbers would have to change. Like I know that. I just did it for the sake of putting a number in.
Yeah, no, I do agree that this would be a nice change because I don't like how literally it doesn't matter what survivor you play. It just depends on like how tall the survivor is and like how loud they are half the time. And it's like I want there to be some reason to play that survivor that isn't just because they look like a really cool survivor with their cosmetics.
Yep.
But my problem is with this list is I feel like some of the passives are way better than others.
Yeah, like that's the thing. But
yeah, like for example, I'm gonna pull a random one. Meg's one, right?
Yeah.
The scratch mark fades 1 second faster compared to fucking which one? Steve's one. Whenever a survivor goes within 8 meters of a hook survivor in a second stage, the hook timer pauses for 10 seconds. I feel like that one would be way better than Meg's.
Part of it was also like, I think the ones I struggled with most was Jeff, Meg, Zarina. Some of them are really easy.
I think one I could recommend for Meg instead of the scratch marks thing maybe make it so like like it'd have a cooldown, because I think a lot of these passives would definitely have to have an inbuilt cooldown. So it
Yeah,
would show like a little symbol on the side of the screen with a
yeah.
little timer
Is
every
it?
time it's used. But I think a good one for Meg would be one where it's like you can have a free silent vault.
Yeah,
So like vaulting through a window or something, and it has maybe like a minute cooldown or
yeah.
something like that.
Because that's
So
the
you
thing.
just get a
E-
yeah.
each one's limited by like either they're like perks or lore, so it makes sense, and then also like the practicality. Like I tried to make some of the more powerful effects very situational.
Mm.
Um, like some of them are pretty simple. Like Elodie, just spawn an extra chest at the start of the trial. That's nothing
I
game
like that
breaking.
one.
That's nothing game breaking.
Yeah.
Um, but where's another one that was pretty like Adams? When at least one other survivor is in the dying state or hooked, your chances to unhook yourself increase by 30%. Without any other effects from offerings, perks, or whatever, that just makes it instead of 4%, it's 34. Which, if you want to play the odds, you probably will unhook yourself if you have all 3 attempts. But how often will you be on your first stage hooked when someone else is hooked or downed? It's actually not as often as you think.
Yeah.
Plus 3% increase in gen repair speed for every dead survivor. That could be a bit higher and it wouldn't matter too much because generally when people die, you start doing gens less.
Mm. I just think that when it comes to passives, they would have to be added very carefully,
That's what it is,
because
yeah. And
as Shia said earlier in chat, they felt like high ranks would abuse
oh,
this and try to make
absolutely.
it as like
That's why
impactful as possible,
that's
like
why like a
comboing
lot of
different
them would be
survivors.
like just making the powerful ones very situational.
Mm.
Like the Zarina one, taking protection hit, the survivor that gets protected is healed 20%. That one is actually not as good as it sounds because you're getting injured just to heal someone the equivalent of about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So like something like that. Some of them are purely just blood point related, which that doesn't really affect anything. Like you could
Yeah,
easily increase
true.
those with not too much issue. And like Nancy's one, co-op gen repairs just earn more blood points. Cool. Um, the Yui one, interesting. The built-in any means necessary, but only one use per survivor.
I thought that one was interesting.
Mm.
I don't know. I feel like if they were to add passives, it would be very interesting to see what they would do for each
Yeah,
survivor.
some of them would be very straightforward that you could get it. Like, and the reason you'd have to change a lot of the perks is like Claudette having slightly faster healing speed. You would have to nerf like botany knowledge.
Yeah. I
Um,
feel like they would have to add passives in batches. So like
yeah,
add like for example, do the original survivors first. And then like make it
the
so they all get a passive.
the other potential issue is getting the licensed characters to have these passive effects because of just the licensing agreements. And like
Right,
say like
yeah.
Nancy and Steve in like a couple of months won't be able to get them anymore. I would
Mm.
imagine with them no longer having that license that they can only do like bug fixes for them. They can't actually add anything to them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be able to, since they don't have the
Yeah, like
license.
say like one of the like say Jill or Nancy or Steve's audio had a bug like it was too loud. They'd be able to do a fix for that, but they
Yeah.
can't go and like add anything to
Mm.
it. But as a concept, like a lot of it would be changing some of the effects slightly, changing numbers. It'd take a rework of a lot of perks, but then it would actually give some meaning to leveling up different survivors. Instead of like,
Yeah,
oh, I
it
just like
would.
this one.
I straight up agree, because like there are so many people I know, I'm included in this, because it's true. It's like I know so many people who literally will only play the one survivor. They'll
Yeah,
level up everyone else, but then like they'll barely play them. And I do the exact same thing because
yeah,
I'm a Fang main because
yeah,
I love Fang's cosmetics and her aesthetic. So it's like playing other survivors, even though I've got all perks on Fang and everything, I don't see the point.
yeah,
It just doesn't feel appealing to me because it's like, oh, I have less perks on, for example, Steve, or I don't really have any good cosmetics on Zarina, so there's not really
yeah.
too much point to it.
But
It's,
that's just an interesting little idea I had for like passives, because it could lead to some very interesting, like saying like a double blood point weekend, having the survivors that increase each category of blood points, so that your team gets more blood points.
I don't know. I feel like with passives, that would be a really good. I never even thought about adding passives to the game. I
Yeah,
kind of thought about maybe making like unique abilities for the survivors, but at the same time, it's like that'd be way too hard. Just, I don't know how the hell that would work, giving survivors certain things they can activate. But yeah,
yeah.
I think passives would be a good way to do it because that way it's not like an ability they can cast or
It would
something
take a
that's
lot of
inbuilt.
balancing, and it would take a lot of work to incorporate it without even going into the idea of reworking perks and nerfing a lot of perks for it.
Yeah.
But
And people, I think, would be really unhappy too, because I bet you the nerfs they do to certain perks to balance it would make them angry because it's like, oh, this isn't as effective if I don't play this survivor,
yeah,
and they're just going to get annoyed about it.
yeah. But you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah.
But that's just a little idea I wanted to throw out there.
Yeah, I like it. I'm on board with this. They'll probably butcher it because behavior, but I'm on board with it.
The
I'm
game
here
will
for
be
the
dead by
ride.
then because of MMR.
True. God, MMR. The amount of like new survivors I've gotten with MMR, like barely 100 hours, it's terrible.
There's something I actually intend to do with the DBD stream this week, because if YouTube fails again, I'm just going to go and stream DBD on Twitch. There's a little experiment I'm going to do. I'll tell you off here,
Yeah.
because there's just a little experiment I want to do just for my own curiosity.
Okay.
And in due course, like maybe the next podcast, if I do more DVD streams, I'll keep adding to this experiment. But it's just something that would be very interesting to keep track of.
Okay.
But anyway, what's the next thing you want to talk about?
I'm thinking we could talk about the new champ in Paladins. Sati. Have you played much of her?
I've played a single game as her.
Oh wow. Have you played games against her?
A couple.
Okay. Well, we can work with this.
You've definitely played a lot more.
I haven't played too many games as Sati. I'm kind of in the same boat as you.
You played more than one.
I played 2.
That's double me.
But I have seen plenty of games against her. Like, I played
Yes.
plenty against her. I like the concept of Sati because I feel like they've added like new abilities, like unique ones in my opinion, than like a lot of the other champs they've added.
Yes.
Like they've added the fact that she can go invisible after putting down these little cardboard cutouts to shoot people. Like I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then the whole coin shooting ability where she throws out a coin and if she shoots it, she can rebound bullets off it.
I want to say that coin is a pain in the ass to hit.
It's so bad. Even me on PC, I'm like struggling. I'm like, it's a miracle sometimes me to hit it. I'm such a bad aim. Ugh. And like, I remember I was playing with someone today from America, and they were playing on my on OCE servers, and they could not hit the coin on lag. It was actually impossible.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, it was so funny. They were like, I swear I hit it, but it's not hitting. And I'm like, oh, poor thing. Yeah, I think the concept's really, like, unique.
Yeah.
And
I don't think she's underbalanced or overpowered at the moment. Probably could use a couple of tweaks.
I will say, she seems like she does a lot of damage. Like, she does, I think, flat-based, like, 500 damage per bullet.
That's less than a lot of other champs, though.
But if she rebounds bullets off of her coin, that's 250 more damage. So that's like 750 or something damage per shot.
I thought it was only like 300.
I don't know, but either way, she can like pretty much melt like an average damage in like 4 or 3 shots, pretty much. If she goes for headshots, it's terrible. But I feel like they kind of do that just to see how to balance her afterwards. Like they do the initial
She's not
release.
Drastically overpowered, not drastically.
Oh no, she's not at all. I'm just saying, like, I'm a bit worried about how much damage she does flat out. Fair. But like, other than that, I think she's a pretty good champ, and I'm really excited what they're gonna do with cosmetics with her in the future. I think there's a lot of like creative ways they can make her look cool.
Things you could do with that. Absolutely.
Oh, we can also talk about while we're here. What do you think of the new skins?
There's Corvus and Sky.
There's Corvus, Sky, and there's also Ray. Ray got her Halloween skin.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll
start with the Sky one. What do you think of that one?
Bit monka.
Yes. That skin's fan service. Straight up.
Let me see. What's the name of the skin?
It's oh god. What is the name of the skin? You can just look it up on the wiki. Just go Sky.
Temptress.
Oh yeah, Temptress. Yeah.
I just want to put a photo onto stream.
Oh god.
So people can see what it is. So for those that don't know what this looks like, let's go and do OBS things. This is probably going to be super big when it pops up, so I do apologize. Where did I save it?
Oh.
There it
Somewhere.
Is. Oh god, that's a bit bigger than I planned it to be. Let me just make that a bit small. That's the new skin.
Yeah. So that's the new Sky skin. It's based off of around the skin design of Demonette Maeve and I think Soul Stealer, Furia, all those kinds of skins. It's a very like fan service skin. I will say that, but I like the details on it.
What's the Corvus one called?
Let me
Count Corvus.
Yes, Count Corvus, that one.
I can do that as well.
The other one's called Count Corvus, the other one's Midnight Royal, because there's 2 versions of them.
There's no point going to the other ones, because it's just a different colour. Just a replay.
Yeah. But what I will say about the Sky skin...
That's the Corvus one.
Because from what I've heard about... from what I've seen, because I watch my friend Daddy Mouse, you should check him out if you want to see skin reviews. He did a skin review on both of these skins because he loves to help people out on deciding if they want to buy the battle passes, etc. And I was looking at the shooting for Sky skin, and it I don't know what it was, but it really irritated my ears. Like, it was one of those
weird audio, because there was a skin boost that was played, and I used that skin. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it just kind of like it just has this weird like frequency about it that just hurts my ears. But yeah, the Corvus skin, I love that skin. I think the effects. I actually played it with it for the first time today.
Yep.
And I really liked his shooting effect. It was pretty good. His his teleporting orb, the one he throws out.
Yep.
It was a little bat in an orb. I thought that was pretty cute.
I'll get the last skin up as well.
And also I
There
really
you go.
like how when he uses his moving emote, it's got really nice effects behind it as well.
Yeah.
Ray's skin. Oh, one thing I wanted to say about the new champ as well, Sati. She has pretty much the exact same voice actor as Steelforged Amani, and I can't unhear it. Very annoying.
See, I've
Anyway,
barely played Steel Forged Money, so that's fine by me.
Ray, I like the effects on Ray's skin. This one, Pumpkin Ray, I'm pretty sure it's called.
Pumpkin Patch, I think it is.
Yeah, Pumpkin Patch Ray. I really like this skin. I like how when you connect to people, it has a little pumpkin, a little happy pumpkin when you connect to allies to heal them. And then when you connect to an enemy, like you link to him, it turns into an angry pumpkin.
Yeah, I really like that as well.
Yeah,
Honest,
it's just
that's
like
really
a nice
good.
little detail. Yeah.
Um,
Besides that, yeah, it looks like a really good skin. What do you think of it?
yeah, look, I haven't seen anyone use it yet. I'll be honest.
Well, I tried to skin boost to use it, and I couldn't. Like, I skin boost, and then it wouldn't let me equip the skin, so I didn't get to equip it. So I'm like, okay, sick, cool skin boost, man. It
Yeah.
just didn't work. Yeah. Oh, also, what did you think about the fact we can buy skin boosters and stuff now with
That's
our bounty
interesting.
coin?
That is
I really like that.
That's a good use
Yeah.
of bounty skin coins, especially you can earn them through lurking people on Twitch.
And they've also added them through the event passes now, and also through challenges.
Yes.
The one thing I will say about that, though, I feel like they're trying to decrease the amount of stuff they're giving us through that, because I've noticed it's in a lot of the slots of the event pass. I hope they don't, like, take out... Because, like, there's barely any sprays in the event pass. Have you noticed that?
I honestly, aside from the skins, I haven't really looked through it.
Well, I looked through it, and, like, I swear there's less stickers and stuff than there was in usual ones. I feel like they've replaced it with, like, bounty coin amounts and stuff. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But either way, I like this event pass, and a lot of people I've seen have already gotten it. So that means that a lot of people are liking the new skins. And it was about time that Sky got a new skin, I feel.
Well, I think you figured it out. It was like, what, 2018? She got her last one?
I think it was, yeah, 2018 or early 2019. I'm pretty sure it was 2018, though.
Just a little while ago.
That's around the same time that Willow got her last skin. She still hasn't gotten one. That's another thing that really bothers me, right? Willow, she's played a lot. It's not like no one plays Willow.
You say that. I
her.
haven't seen anyone play Willow in a long time.
Well, to be fair, I play the game more than you, so...
The last time I had a Willow on my team, the other team had a Liana, Strix, and a Kinessa. So that Willow had a miserable game.
Oh, no. Yeah, like, I've seen a lot of Willows, and especially ones that are, like, one-tricks as well, like, ones that are, like, over level 100 and stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like they haven't bothered giving her a skin in ages. Is it because, like, it's a weird design, like a butterfly-looking champ? Is that why?
It's a weird design. You look at the last champ they added was an oversized worm.
True. You're not wrong. That was like 3 champs ago now. Is that weird to think about? Yag was released. Like, there's been 3 champs since Yag was released. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, wow. There's Vatu, Ray, and now Sati. That's insane. They're releasing champs so quickly now. Actually, like, blowing my mind.
Chai raises a good point. The lack of matchmaking in that game. Like, what was it the other night? We were playing a couple of games and we got a 5-stack that had all their characters. I think the lowest on their team was like 65. And admittedly, you were playing Sati.
Mm-hmm.
Our team, like, I was playing my Ying, which is like level 50-odd. The other 4 champs combined didn't add up to 10.
Yeah, that's how low-leveled they were.
Yeah.
I will admit, like, that Paladins has not much better matchmaking than DBD. Like,
see, Paladins and DBD have the 2 extremes. They're both casual games. Like, the ranked matchmaking, I presume, is not bad in Paladins, but I've never played it. Not
I've
great, but not
seen.
bad.
It's not like the worst, but it's alright.
But if you go like the casual side of things, which D&D is a casual game, Paladins has casual and ranked. In Paladins as casual, there is no matchmaking whatsoever. It's literally these people, let's go. The only thing it somewhat prioritizes is putting groups against groups.
That's the problem, though. Like, a lot of the time there is, like... I will say this, like, it has some basic matchmaking, but the problem is, like, parties fuck up the matchmaking so hard.
Yeah.
Because it's, like, it's hard to bring it to a, like, an average when you've got, like, 4 people of different account levels and stuff queuing together and different ranks, all that stuff, which I don't think it judges off that in casuals. And it's like, I found that like 5 stacking and stuff, it's hurting the game. It's really badly hurting the Paladins community. Because it's like the matchmaking, when you have like a 4 stack or something on the enemy team, you'd be lucky to get someone who knows how to fucking right click to heal half the time. And it's like, it's hard to play in those instances.
I played a couple of games by myself the other day for the sake of it.
Yeah.
There was one game, I think I was playing... Who was I playing? Can't remember who I was playing. It was a damage of some description. Might have been Leon. We had a generalist on our team that they were like level 7 or something like that. So they weren't experienced, but they had played a decent amount of games. They got like 1,300 healing in a 10-minute game. As the sole healer.
Yep.
And their damage was about 20k. So that you can't say they were focusing damage.
It's like, that's what I don't like about Paladins as well. How it's a team game, but a lot of the time you'll just get selfish teammates.
Yep.
And it's like, half the time, I'd love playing any role in the game. I'm pretty fine with either flank, tank, damage, and support. I'm fine with any of them, really. My main problem is, when I tank and there's a random healer, 80% of the time I don't get healed.
Yeah.
And I'm not even exaggerating.
I don't have an issue playing those roles. I have an issue with the other people not doing their part.
And then you have the problem with some people not understanding what their job is when they're playing a certain role.
Yeah.
Like I've seen flanks who don't flank. They like sit in our backline and sit there and like just hit
I had one game, I was playing Kinessa or Strix, one of the snipers. Our guy was further back than me for most of it.
Yep. And it's like, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for, like, the enemy support to flank you? Like, where are you going? It's terrible.
Now, exciting announcement today with Melbourne is Victoria's roadmap out of lockdown.
Ooh, okay.
So, more or less, it's purely based off of vaccination rates. So there's approximate dates, which is going by the modelling when they expect to hit each milestone. But it can change, like, for example, the 70% first dosed in Victoria. They were expecting that to be, I think, tomorrow, when they announced that would be when restrictions ease, like when they announced that a couple of weeks ago, like as soon as we hit 70%, restrictions will ease a little. They were predicting tomorrow. We ended up hitting it on Friday. The same day I got mine, so I claimed that I was the one that got us to 70%. Definitely not the person that got done like 2 milliseconds after me. It was all me. Absolutely all me.
Yeah, we're going to congratulate the same guy that put us in lockdown.
I didn't put you into lockdown. You put us into lockdown.
No. I don't claim any responsibility for New South Wales, okay?
It's your state.
I live in my own state. It's called a state of depression, okay? Don't judge me.
You said it, not me. But so when we hit 80% first vaxxed, slightly further we can go from home. Some sports start to open up, which includes my cricket. And they're predicting that'll be next weekend.
Hell yeah,
Then
finally.
when 70% are fully vaxxed, that's when like the majority of the lockdown lifts. I think there'll be the kilometre limit, and that's about it. And then like density limits. And that'll be when 70% get fully vaxxed, which they predict 26th of October. Then when it's 80%, a lot more stuff open up, and then it'll be like when the whole country hits 80%. Which...
You know what? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
I was going to say, you know what I'm really happy about?
What?
Whenever I rarely venture out into the outside world, I've been really happy with the fact that I have not really come across anyone not wearing masks.
Speak for
like,
yourself.
pretty much... Really?
There's
Have you had issues with it?
The issue where I am, like, you know well enough where I am. Hang on. I'm sorry about that. The issue where I live, and you have a good enough idea where I am.
Mm-hmm.
We're classed as Metro Melbourne. We're not classed as regional. But
I know,
it's a very
you told me
country
that.
area. So a lot of
Yeah.
people are like, why are we in lockdown? Like, there's areas I know and like people I know that are like, we can only travel 5 kilometers to our local supermarket or whatever. Their closest one is like 10, 15 kilometers away. But
Oh my god.
Metro Melbourne.
Yeah,
And
makes sense. Checks out.
until recently, with some of these Delta variant cases actually reaching out my way, we hadn't had any cases for a year. So the last 3 lockdowns, we hadn't had a single case.
Damn.
But we were stuck in lockdown the same way that like everyone else was. And I don't know how accurate it is now, but a few days ago, of Melbourne's cases, it was something like 63% came from 5 LGAs, which is like the government area. So just in 5 areas of Metro Melbourne is where 63% of the cases or something came from. And I think 13% of all the cases were in the construction industry.
Oh, wow.
And they're the ones that were protesting because they're not allowed to have their tea breaks indoors. Did you see those protests?
I heard about them.
Yeah, where
I
they
don't get what the point was of protesting during a fucking pandemic.
Because they can't have their breaks inside. And construction is one of the least affected businesses from COVID. They've been able to work through the majority of it, and they go and do stupid shit like that. Yeah, and they can't sit together. They can't do it indoors, and they can't sit together. So they went on plastic chairs and blocked off main roads around Melbourne.
I'm so baffled, right? Because, you know how, like, people, like, I get it, like, lockdown's been pretty hard on people, especially, like, mentally. And it's like, some people decide that since it's been so hard on them, they're gonna, like, stop, like, following procedures and start, like, rioting and stuff. Like, people have done, like,
they
stuff
did
like
one
that.
the weekend.
Yeah, and it's just like, I'm just sitting there like, you know, doing that is gonna make it go for longer than you...
Well,
if you didn't do that.
Something I saw on, it's like Twitter or Facebook or whatever. When Melbourne last had the riots, our mystery cases each day was sitting around like 1 or 2. And then like about 5 days after that is when they suddenly skyrocketed the mystery cases.
Oh my god.
So people are saying, very good chance it's because someone went to that protest with COVID and now it spread like wildfire.
People annoy me.
Oh, people annoy me as well, trust me. And like there are some like rules that some people just do not pay attention to at all. Like,
yeah,
I'll be perfectly honest. Like wearing a mask whenever you're outdoors, blah blah blah. When I go for my walk, because it's in the facility I do my walks at, like the walking paths, not many people go there. Like the most people I've seen there at once was maybe like across this whole area, which doing one lap of this place is about 2Ks. So it's a pretty decent size. The most I've seen is maybe a dozen, and the majority of them were like a couple of small families at the playground. Other than that, like walking the trail itself, barely anyone. So like, I'll have my mask, but I'll have it like, say, down below my chin, because it's not like I'm interacting with other people. And like, if anyone's near me, I'll put it on, sure. And the other thing is, by definition, I'm exercising.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like, it's the people that like would go on trains and like, I'm not wearing a mask. Screw you guys.
Speaking of COVID and everything, one topic I wanted to ask you about was, what are you excited to do once COVID and has calmed down and like lockdowns behind us and everything?
Pending what the state is with COVID and borders and stuff, as well as my own financial limitations, I'm hoping that in December I'll be spending my birthday in Adelaide.
Nice.
That
means we don't get a birthday stream. I'm very upset.
The map at the moment, like the Australian one, is that international borders will open on the 13th of December. My logic is, if they're opening international borders, then surely the state borders are open. That's the logic I'm banking on. There's a good chance it won't be, but one can dream.
That would make sense, though. Like, so we wouldn't open up international borders before.
The dates I'm looking at is like the 14th to the 19th, with which my birthday's on the 17th.
Yes, I know your birthday.
But yeah, that would mean no birthday stream, most likely.
Do it when you get back. Do a late one. Late birthday stream.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Dude, some people have their birthdays on Christmas Eve, and I feel so bad for them.
But honestly, part of it, just with easing restrictions, is just seeing people. Like, there's definitely people I want to see.
Yeah, well, I want to come down. I want to come down at some point.
I was talking about other people, but that's fine.
Oh, okay.
You know who I mean.
Yeah, I know.
I suppose it would be good to see you as well.
Oh, okay. And also Goki, yeah. And Rye, I want to go visit as well.
Maybe maybe different accommodation.
Because me and Goki were talking to Rye the other day, and she said that she wouldn't mind us staying with her because she's got a spare room.
Hey.
I was like, hell yeah.
Actually, her place would be pretty easy for you to get to.
Yeah, because
it's actually it's closer. It would be quicker and like closer for you than it was when you last came down.
Yeah, because it would be like I'd have to travel less on the train part of the trip.
Yes.
Goki, on the other hand, would have to travel a bit further than me, but that's fine.
I mean, yeah, whether or not Goki goes straight to Melbourne or goes down to your place first and you go and do that portion together.
I still can't believe that Goki and Rai have the same birthday.
I mean, Goki, technically speaking, that's not true.
Wait, what?
Goki said you don't have planes.
I do have a plane. It's just not in my town. It's in the town over. But I'm not going to say names because I don't want people to fucking dox me.
Yeah.
Be like, I don't know where that is. It's like, oh, fuck.
It's like, because, funny enough, this is actually an interesting story. You know this, but one of my family's favourite holiday spots is the town next to you.
Yeah, I haven't been there. Shocked.
I haven't been there since before we met. So it's not like it's like, oh, we could have caught up, blah blah blah. It's like the last time I was there, I think was, I want to say like 6 years ago. Like it's been a long time, but the place we'd stay at was looking pretty much over the airport, or just around the corner. But yeah, that's nutty, and I would like to actually go and have a holiday there again, but I can
catch a bus. We can meet up.
Yeah, we could actually meet up.
We could get some drinks.
Find a bottle of Coke that actually has your proper name on it.
And then I gotta find a bottle of Coke for you, dude.
Yeah,
you've got to be named. Okay,
not that my name's that hard to find. Isn't that right, God. Amelia?
Yeah, I was about to say, if you guys have seen my name in Penguin's Discord, my name in Discord is Amelia, and I wanted you guys to know this because someone actually mistaken me for being named actually Amelia. My first name is
It's not Amelia.
No, it's because when me and Penguin met up in person the first time, me and him got lunch together.
Yeah, so
And
it was Nando's, wasn't it?
no, I got sushi, you got
Oh yeah, because
Nando's,
it's
I'm
next
pretty
to it.
sure.
Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
ran downstairs to the Coles because getting a bottle of soft drink from either of those places is like
It's
$4.50 or $5,
Yeah.
and they're like $3 each at Coles. So I'm like, I'll go down and get a soft drink from Coles. What do you want? I think you just like get a bottle of Coke.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the
didn't mind.
names because I wanted to get a name, like if your name was there. Because like that makes it, your name's not exactly uncommon either.
It's not. My name's pretty
Like,
common.
I want to say
mine's
it's not the most common name going around, but it's not uncommon.
it's just
Mine would be more common, but
the main problem with my name is it can be spelt a different way as well.
Yeah.
So it's like even if you could
But,
find
like,
my name, it'd probably be spelled the other way.
the majority of the drinks was your like Sophie, Sarah, Bethany,
Mhm.
and I'm looking at these like these aren't even close. So I'm
Dude,
like,
I actually
this one's the coldest. This one's the coldest.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, so
'Cause
that's where I got my name Amelia
Because
from.
I'm pretty sure they actually had a Josh. So I got my name. You didn't get yours.
I just got christened that day with a new name. I was like, okay, I'm okay with this.
This is your name now.
Yeah, that was the same day we got those fucking log pillows. Those were so cool.
And I got my one of my penguin pillows.
Yeah, I got a doggo one. It's so
Yes.
cute.
Now,
Yes.
platform exclusives.
Okay, so this was a special requested topic because
Yes.
I was talking to Goki. Shout out to Goki in chat. And he was expressing his distaste with the fact that one of his favorite games, Marvel Avengers, right? They are bringing out a new champion. They're bringing out Spider-Man.
Yes.
But according to some licensing issues and stuff, they can't bring Spider-Man out on PC because it's a PS4 and 5 exclusive.
Because Sony own the right to Spider-Man and the PlayStation is a Sony console. Because Sony are assholes.
Yeah, so now Goki misses out on a full champ because he does not play it on a console.
Oh, they can now?
Yeah? Are they actually not going to... is there more to it on why they can't do it, or are they actually going to get into doing it? Sony wants to get rid of Spider-Man from the MCU. Really?
Yeah, they
actually...
that's why there was a huge... Like, a bit over a year ago, there was a huge thing going on because I think Tom Holland's contract as Spider-Man had come up, had finished up, because I think the contract was for 5 movies, it might have been. So those movies was the Civil War, where he makes his cameo, his own movie, Infinity War, Endgame, and then his second movie. And they, because Sony needed to also negotiate, Marvel needed to negotiate with Sony for the rights of Spider-Man because Marvel didn't exclusively own them, and there was just a huge thing going on because Sony wanted to do a lot of this, a lot of that. So for a few weeks, Spider-Man was no longer in the MCU.
Oh wow.
But then I think people intervened and they sorted something out, and there was a huge backlash from the community, and I think they more or less said if Sony don't agree with the MCU to have Tom Holland return to Spider-Man and all the other characters associated, they will boycott literally everything to do with Spider-Man.
Apparently, according to Goki, Sony paid a bucket load of money to get him made exclusive for PlayStation. That's so shit, man. Like, and I think the thing that annoys me more about that is when I found out they're not releasing any type of new content for PC when that update comes out. They're just going to leave one champ off the roster and not replace it with any other champ.
And then, like, you've got other exclusives, like Halo, for example. Always been an Xbox exclusive because Microsoft. But because Microsoft have a lot of the PC stuff, there's been more Halo on PC, and they understand there's a huge demand for it in PC, and like Master Chief Collection's done phenomenal for them.
Halo alone.
Which I don't mind it being on PC as well.
One thing that I was really upset about personally being a PS4 exclusive was Until Dawn.
Yes.
Until Dawn is one of my favorite horror games. I love that game to bits. And the fact that it's not going to come to PC is so sad.
It's one of the best butterfly effect games, period.
I love games like that. Yeah, like games that it's like subtle things can affect the outcome and stuff. I love that kind of stuff. And the thing that appeals to me the most is the fact that literally it tells you at this, like, pretty much in the game's like bio, anyone can die. Like, you could literally kill everyone.
But the thing the game like, I naturally haven't played the game myself because I don't have PlayStation 4, but I've seen a lot of playthroughs of the game, and the thing they do well, it's very hard to save everyone. It's equally hard to kill everyone. Most likely, like, there's what, 8 characters. The usual outcome, you might be able to save like 4 or 5. That's probably your average outcome. But yeah, they've done it well. So like, it needs to be a challenge to save everyone, absolutely. But it equally shouldn't be super easy just to go kill everyone.
True, but I think that's the whole point of the fact that it's like you've got to be really careful.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, major spoilers, by the way. If you haven't seen the game, just don't listen for a bit because I'm about to say something that's to the ending. You've seen the whole thing, right, Penguin?
Oh yeah, I've seen everything and I know the true endings. Yeah.
So the one thing I was really upset about with the game was the fact that Josh, ironic, he didn't get a good ending. No matter what you did.
He's got a... See, the ironic thing is, if you choose to save him, you give him actually a worse ending.
Yeah, no, like, either he gets killed outright by his sister, who's the Wendigo,
or he becomes the Wendigo.
He becomes one, yeah. It's like no justice for Josh at all. It's so sad.
To be fair, he screwed up the other 7.
He did pretty much.
But no, the acting for the game, phenomenal.
I loved how they made the game too. Like, they had like this whole behind the scenes where they had motion tracking.
Yeah, they had
literally
motion
got
tracking.
The voice actors.
It was based off the voice actors and the motion tracking. Like, and that added so much to the game.
I love Until Dawn so much. And you know how crushed I was? Because, like, when I saw the teaser for Twins, it looked so much like Until Dawn. And I was praying that they made some type of deal.
Sadly, it's never going to happen because it's a PlayStation exclusive.
I know. I'm sorry. And especially since it was such a disappointing killer like Twins as well. I was so disappointed it wasn't Until Dawn. So many people wanted it to be that as well.
It'd be hard to implement, but yeah.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo's more likely to get a chapter than Until Dawn. Shaggy, Survivor, and a monster is a killer. Yeah, probably one of the more iconic villains in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved Until Dawn. I think it is a very unique game that is going to be like pretty much one of my favorite. I have seen that there was a game made by the similar developers. I think it was the same ones. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. But Man of Medallion, what was it called? It was like Man of Medallion or something.
No, Man of Medan or something. Oh, I know the one you've got. Let me get the name of it.
Yeah, that one. 3 games. Yeah, I've heard that it's a really good game.
Yeah, I've heard good reviews.
Yeah, I want to play that. Have you played it yet?
No.
We should play that together. Well, it's a co-op game.
Something else as well is that what's it called? What's the bloody name of it? Oh, bloody not Stranger Things. I don't know why that was. Life is Strange.
Oh, the new game that came
I have not looked at any spoilers.
Oh, no, me either. I don't want any spoilers for that.
I want to do a playthrough of the all the games.
I've
started Life is Strange 1.
Yeah.
I know what happens in the prequel. And
Sorry.
You okay there?
Sorry, I really like. I just wanted to say I really love Wolf, and I'm so excited for the second one. That looks like
a phenomenal game as well.
If you haven't played the first one is great. I love that game. Anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah, I've played years ago. I did a playthrough of Life is Strange, the original. Never finished it. I know what happens in the prequel. Haven't played through it, but I know the story. I've seen nothing on 2, nothing on 3.
I'm pretty much the exact same. Only I played through the first and the prequel myself.
Yep.
I did a blind playthrough of them. They were great games. The only thing I haven't played is the DLC episode. I haven't seen anything on that yet. The one that was the one on them as kids, I think it was. There was like an extra episode of that. Haven't seen that one yet. I really want to play through 2 and 3 though. I'm gonna call it 3. I don't know if it's technically that or if it's like a standalone game. I know it doesn't have any of the same characters, but the problem is they cost so much money.
Oh yeah, they're expensive.
Oh, I wish I could get them though. They look so fun. I've heard mixed reviews about the second one, but the third one, it looks so good. I looked at the
second
trailer
one,
and I was like,
definitely reviews have had very hit and miss. The third one, I've only heard good things.
Yeah, the trailer alone for the... I don't usually watch game trailers because I don't like getting spoilers and stuff. Yeah. But the game trailer for the new Life is Strange, it looks really nice. Listen to Mega. The second one is great. Okay, I'll take your word for it, Mega.
Unless there's anything you want to bring up.
Well, I do want to say one more thing. Yes. You should definitely play Wolf Among Us. I'm just saying.
There's a lot of games like that, like story kind of games I want to play. It's hard to at the moment while I'm doing Witcher.
Yeah, of course.
Because we finished Dying Light, which hopefully this week, maybe early next week, the Dying Light video will go up. I've got to edit that together. I've got a few videos on the back burner to edit at the moment, so yay.
Yes.
Uni assignments. But yeah, so we did Dying Light. Now I'm doing Witcher. Afterwards, I want to do some more of that, but I don't know if I go to Life is Strange or not.
It's the one thing I will say, like Telltale, when it was a company, it shut down.
Yes.
So like when Telltale did make games, I will say a lot of their games were pretty like they were the type of butterfly effect games that were done badly. Like, there were a couple of them that were done pretty well, but it's like a lot of the time it was a shadow of a choice, not an actual choose-your-own-adventure type of
Witcher
deal.
has had some elements of that I've noticed. And, like, I've only, like, had 2 show up as, like, the consequence. One of them was pretty big. Like,
don't spoil it, because I need to play Witcher as well, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of them was a pretty major result to a character, which I talked to others that have played through it, and they'd only seen, like, the other ending. Like, there's a good ending and a bad ending, and I got the bad ending. But it was from a choice that I had no idea would implicate it whatsoever. Like, it was because of this choice, this happened, which led to this, which led to this, which as a result, this happened. And it's like, oh. And like, as soon as that happens and you come across whatever the event is, there's sort of like a flashback part that says, when you chose to do this, that's the consequence of it. So one of those was for the, like, what happens to the end of the story for one of the major characters, because the other, like, the 2 endings for this character is both of them, like, one way or another getting, that's like the end of their story arc for the game. So no matter what you do, that won't be a character you see anymore. And the only other one I got, which I actually don't know what triggered it, nor what the effect was. It just popped up and I'm like, I don't know what that's for, and I think it's like some minor dialogue one. So Witcher seems to have elements of it, but not too drastic from what I've seen so far.
If I had to like rate, I'm not gonna like rate them in like too detailed, but if I had to like rate the Telltale games, I'll say like the Walking Dead ones, I think were the ones that were most, how do I say this lightly, beaten to death. Because with the Walking Dead ones, it was just really milked.
First one, amazing game. Second one was pretty
Mm-hmm.
good as well.
Yeah, but then it just starts going downhill.
Yeah,
And
I've
like
heard that, which is why I'm
the
not too
Frontier,
keen to play the next two.
the Frontier is, I still recommend playing through all of them because it gives you some kind of closure to the end of the series. The Frontier was I didn't really like it because it kind of, with the Frontier, right, it drifted away from like the characters you knew from the second one, and it kind of just went to a whole new dynamic and made the people that survived the second game side characters in the
Yeah.
next game. So everyone kind of tries to ignore that the Frontier exists and then just skips to the last game. And another game that wasn't too good in that series was Michonne. I feel like they didn't do that
I
justice.
don't even know that one.
That one is it's they made choices in that one.
That
And
naturally that's how those kind of games work.
yeah. And it's like Michonne, now that I've watched The Walking Dead, like the actual series, like I've watched a good chunk of it now. Michonne's a great character in that series. Like I love her, but in the game it was just really badly done.
Yeah.
And then with the Batman ones, love those games. That franchise is good. I think that the storyline for it's good. Still does have that thing where it's like some choices they don't matter, but it's like it's still got a good story overall. And then Wolf Among Us, great. Love that series.
Yeah.
I think that series is perfect, and I've been waiting for a sequel because the way the first one ended with the plot twist, I was like, oh my god. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
The Borderlands one, I've tried to play that one.
I haven't seen, because there's a couple of them, isn't there? Oh, the Telltale ones.
I only know the one Borderlands one. I don't know if there is more.
I thought there was more, because there's a lot of Borderlands games. I thought there was more than one of the like Telltale ones.
I've only seen one.
I've seen one of them as well. I saw someone play through. There was only one. Then I've seen someone play through.
I haven't seen it. I've only I think I've played through like half of the first episode, and it was kind of like,
it looked good. I'll give it that. It looked good, but I'm not very familiar with Borderlands. So
I'm not really too familiar with the storyline too. I think it follows like a complete different storyline from like the original games. Yeah. It still has some of like the characters from the actual game franchise.
There's a Guardians of the Galaxy one.
Yeah, I think I have seen some of that.
I've seen gameplay of it. It's interesting. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I wouldn't say it's great.
But yeah, overall, I think Telltale had a problem with the fact they tried to take too many shortcuts with making it seem like you had choices when really it would end up the same pretty much.
With very minor things. Like,
yeah, it'd
at
be like
most,
very minor
it would be like
differences.
different audio lines, like different, and slightly different character development.
One thing I will say, I hated it when they made it a choice picking between two characters, because whoever you save, they basically become a side character. They become like background noise, pretty much.
Yeah.
They get barely any lines, and when they do have lines, it'll be like kind of cropped in there, like really weirdly, and it's like, yeah.
That's what a lot of the Walking Dead ones were.
Yeah. I really liked Wolf Among Us, though. Probably my favorite Telltale game out of all of them.
I definitely want to play more of them. Definitely want to play more.
I think you'll like Wolf Among Us. Yeah.
But yeah, unless you've got anything else you want to add or chat about, I think that wraps up a lot of it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that'll be good for today, because you have to go have dinner.
Yeah, I've got things on and need to do other uni stuff, so yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good place to end it.
Yeah, too easy. Next one will actually be on time.
Yeah, and we'll actually do it for the... We're ending a bit earlier.
It was my fault because of the fact I felt like shit, but blame the 5G jab that didn't improve my internet.
Yeah, I know, right? I need to get some 5G jab, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Definitely podcast is definitely going well, and it's been a lot of fun to do, and bigger and greater things ahead.
And just so you guys know, it'll be the same time in 2 weeks' time on Friday.
Yeah, it'll be back
usual.
Friday. This was just a one-off because of the fact I was ill.
Yeah, so we'll probably be back in 2 weeks.
And
I say probably. That sounds bleak.
it'll be the schedule. We'll sort it out. It'll be fine. Trust us. It'll be okay. But yeah, thank you for joining.
Yeah, no problem. Good night, guys.
Bye.